If I could have everybody's attention, please. I'm honored, humbled, and amazed that this many folks have come out tonight to be with us here to kick off early voting, which starts tomorrow here in Lewis County and across the state. My name is Vance Dennis. I am currently the representative for the 71st District in our state house, which right now encompasses Hardin, McNairy, and half Decatur counties. Since the last census, we redistricted back in January. The 71st District now encompasses Hardin, Wayne, Lewis, and the northwest corner of Lawrence County. I'm looking very much forward to meeting, getting to know all of you, earning your trust, earning your respect, and representing you in our state house for another term. I was talking a few minutes ago with some friends of mine that about 4 years ago, when I was first elected to the House, we had a little fish fry like this down in Adamsville. Lieutenant Governor Ron Ramsey was there for that, and I was a little bit new at the political game. I leaned over to him and said, Ron, I'm just amazed this many people came out to see me. He kind of sniggered and said, boy, they ain't here for you, they're here for fish. And he was right. Enough of them like to fish enough to go vote for me. They got elected. I've been serving for the last 4 years in your state legislature. I serve on the Judiciary Committee and on the Health Committee in the House. The first 2 years of my political career, I sat right behind Representative Joey Hensley, learned a lot from him, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work for you in the State House. Now, we've got another gentleman here who was very gracious and kind to come down for us and be with us today and support me in my re-election efforts. I've served in the House with 2 governors now, under 2 governors. I can assure you that this is the gentleman to my left is the best governor that I have ever served under, bar none. I appreciate him coming out. There's 1,000 people any given day pulling this man in 100 different directions, and he was gracious enough to come down and spend some time here with us and tell you why he thinks I'm the right person for this job. So without further ado, I'm going to hand the mic over to my good friend, Governor of the great state of Tennessee, Mr. Bill Haslam.
Be here, and I'm going to talk about Vance in a minute, but first I can't be here and see so many of you who I've had the privilege of getting to know over the last couple of years without thanking you. Somewhere there might be a better job than being the governor of Tennessee, but I have no idea what it is. I love getting to do what I do, and every day when I walk in the office, I think literally what a privilege and an honor it is to get to do this. So before I talk about Vance and why I'm here, I do want to thank you. I don't take it for granted, and I think we've had the opportunity to serve and hopefully make a difference. And people said, well, why are you here for Vance? Why are you doing that? Well, I think the proof is in the pudding. Okay, and I look back at what we've accomplished over the last 2 years. In a very tough economic climate, we've taken where the state's unemployment was way above the national average to where we're below the national average. And some of that's due to some things that made the whole environment better for businesses and more attractive. A piece of that legislation Vance carried and did a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Now look at a budget. We came in and we knew that there was a $1.5 billion, that's with a B, dollars of federal money that we were going to lose. A lot of other states said that, oh, we're going to lose all this federal money, we have to raise taxes. But we actually didn't do that in Tennessee. We actually just cut the size of government, and then we've actually lowered taxes. We cut the tax as of, what's today, as of 12 days ago, you paid less sales tax on grocery than you did before. When you die, now you don't pay an inheritance tax in Tennessee, or you won't. We're going to phase it out over the next 3 years. We think our mission is to give you the very best government for the very lowest cost, and the cost is the taxes you pay. And having people like Vance who are willing to make the hard decisions, I think is really why we've moved ahead as a state to where, like I said, unemployment was higher than the national average, and now we're lower. We had a state budget that had a $1.5 billion in federal money that disappeared. We didn't raise taxes, we actually cut them and lowered the size of government because we didn't want to raise the cost to you. We didn't want to raise taxes, and people like Vance have helped us do that. It is critically important that we have the right people in the legislature. And a lot of people look and say, gosh, Bill, your first 2 years as governor, you've gotten so much done, that's amazing. And I go, well, when you have majorities on your side, when we have 64 Republicans in the House and 20 Republicans in the Senate, even I can look smart. Because the votes tend to come out better when the odds are stacked in your favor. And it's important, that's why it's important for us to elect folks. I want to recognize Representative Barrett Rich, who's here. Representative Rich is from, I guess, the next district over, does a wonderful job working for us there. He and Vance work hard together in the State House. I want to, you all are great to be here. I don't want to talk long, but the representative mentioned that early voting starts tomorrow. It is incredibly important to go ahead and vote, okay? You might say, why is that? I'll tell you, this is a true story. I was running for mayor the first time in Knoxville, and I was out doing what candidates do, knocking on doors, and I knocked on this one door and ran into a woman, and she opens the door and she goes, Bill, and throws her arms around me and hugs me, and she was a larger sized woman, and she's kind of got me in a headlock and kind of rocking me back and forth, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? Well, finally I get myself free and kind of back away, and I go, Willie! And it's a woman named Willie Williams, and Willie had worked for our company for years, and then she and her husband we had transferred them, and they'd moved to Florida, and unfortunately her husband had a heart attack and passed away. And then Willie had stayed down there, and I hadn't seen her, but obviously she had moved back to Knoxville and was living there, but I hadn't seen her in about 10 years, so she's asking me everything and asking me to kind of catching me up, like, well, what's so-and-so doing? How's so-and-so doing? And we're talking about that. She goes, oh, forgive me. I haven't introduced you to my new husband. Would you like to meet my new husband? I go, well, sure. And so we go back there, and her new husband is a very, very elderly gentleman who's on oxygen in bed. And I leaned down to listen to him, and I introduced myself, and I had to put my ear almost to his mouth so I could hear what he's saying, but we go back and forth for a little while, and then I say goodbye and walk out. That's about 4 weeks before the election. Willie calls me back 3 weeks later, about a week before the election, and says, Bill, it's Willie, how you doing? I said, Willie, I'm great. I was so glad to see you the other day. I said, how are you? And she goes, well, I'm not so good right now. I said, what's wrong? She said, well, remember my new husband? I said, yes. I said, well, he passed away yesterday. I said, oh, Willie, I'm really, really, really sorry to hear that. I said, I'm just so sorry. Chrissy and I just want you to know how sad we are. We're glad we got to meet him, and we're just so sorry to hear that. She said, oh, no, don't be sorry. He early voted. That's a true story. So the moral of the story is you never know, right? So starting tomorrow, you can go ahead and vote, and you won't have to worry about it. But I really appreciate you showing up tonight. Unlike Vance, I know you showed up more for the fish than either one of us, but regardless, we're glad we have a chance to be together. Please make sure you go vote. Tell the folks that live around you, the people who go to church with you, the people who go to your kids' friends and all that, make sure people go vote. In primaries like this, frequently there's a very, very low turnout. And a small number of votes can very often mean the difference between winning and losing. So I want to encourage you to make certain you go vote. And thank you very much for letting me have the chance to serve your way out there. Thanks.
Thank you, Governor. It's been a great time working with you the last 2 years, and I'm looking forward to at least a couple more. Folks, several of you have come from areas that I represent. A lot of you are new to it. I just want to give you a little bit of history about myself for those that haven't heard this speech about 18 different times. I'm originally from Hardin County. I grew up in Hardin County, went to school there, spent about 7 years in Knoxville, got an undergraduate degree in ag business, went on to law school while I was there, and I've had an office on Court Square in Savannah, practicing domestic, real estate, civil law, criminal law, just about anything that comes in the door. In my practice, I studied the law extensively, and the more I learned as I went through and practiced law, the more concerned I got about the future of our state. I saw many things in our code that appeared to have been drawn for the benefit of one person, one individual. Didn't really make very much sense in my mind. The more I saw, the more concerned I became, and eventually that culminated with the Rocky Top scandal, which Tennessee Waltz. Rocky Top was old. Tennessee Waltz scandal we had a few years ago when about 8 legislators got indicted. I made the decision at that time. I had the ability to do something about it. I was going to do something about it, and I did. I ran for state representative in 2006 and was defeated against a very strong incumbent. That incumbent retired. I ran again in 2008 for that open seat and won. and I have been working tirelessly for the 71st District to make this state a better place, because that's what this is all about. We are very much in danger of leaving a state and a country to our children that is worse off than it was when we got it. That bothers me tremendously. I have two little boys at home, a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old. My primary goal in this life is to make sure that they have a better world living, a better state living in particular, than what they have now. And I get up and smile every day when I get up, because I have the opportunity to go to Nashville to work for you to make this state a better place to be. It's a very rewarding job. It's a very, I tell folks, it's the last 4 years have been the most educating, rewarding, and frustrating years of my life. But I've enjoyed every minute of it. Appreciate the opportunity to do it. I hope that you will allow me to continue to represent you in Nashville. I want to say a special thanks to my beautiful and lovely wife who is here, Ashley, in that pretty blue shirt right there. She is the mastermind behind all the details, getting me where I need to be, keeping things organized and together. She's a CPA and a banker, and she has an eye for detail, and she does a wonderful job, and I love her very much. In addition, my campaign manager, Carly Green, is here in the red dress by the door. She's done an outstanding job for me the last few months, helping get the word out about our candidacy. If you have any questions at all, please call me, catch me here. I've got a multitude of yard signs that are still left that need a home. If anybody wants to adopt a yard sign, I'll make you a very good deal on them, I promise. Please just ask. Ask and you shall receive. Enjoy the fish. I think there's plenty more back there. Enjoy the fellowship, and let's all get out and vote tomorrow, please. Because if you don't vote, if you don't get out there and try to make a difference, you don't really have a right to complain. So I hope everybody in here gets a chance to go tomorrow, even though it's Friday the 13th. If you have to wait till Saturday, that's okay. But vote. Get out there and vote. Let your voice be heard. It will make a difference, I promise you. Thank you all. Have a great afternoon, great evening, and God bless. Let me know if you need anything. Thank you.